Australian women workers were granted equal pay in 1969, and the business case for equality in the workplace is strong. It has been shown to attract the best employees, reduce the cost of staff turnover, enhance business performance, improve access to target markets, minimise legal risks, enhance the business reputation, and to also engage men who want to work with an organisation that respects women and every employee's right to work-life balance. But still today, women do not earn the same average income as men. This difference between earnings is called the gender pay gap. With the gender pay gap at 17.5%, women in Australia in 2013 would have to work an extra 2 months and 3 days to catch up with the annual income of their male colleagues. Equal Pay Day is the day when they do catch up. And to mark it in 2013, Economic Security for Women asked small business what they needed to identify and address a pay gap to make sure their workplaces are equitable. Discussion was around assistance with job valuation, pay setting arrangements, flexible work arrangements, and managing leave for parents and carers. These same issues also impact on the gender pay gap.
We're about 180 people in Australia and part of a 2,600 person firm globally in 29 cities, I think now. And we're also in an industry that has women in the absolute minority. So a lot of the challenges in execution in terms of supporting so many women with family and other caring needs hasn't yet become a challenge for us. But as we're getting more women into the industry and more women into ThoughtWorks, we're hoping to see those challenges. The reason for it is just that it's the right thing to do.
The gender pay gap affects working women and their families. It affects the decisions people make about who will stay home and do the bulk of the unpaid care work. In Australia, large firms are required to report progress to reduce the gender pay gap. Many large firms do not need to be convinced of the benefits of employing women and paying them the same as men. They compete with each other to be known as an employer of choice for women. They want to recruit from the largest talent pool. But little is known about pay equity within small to medium-sized businesses. Many women are employed in these businesses, and women are increasingly running them. Do these businesses face challenges competing with large firms for the best worker for the job?
Coming at it from a small business perspective, and I believe particularly that it needs to be looked at as an income equality. So approaching it with a package, because women are very diverse, small businesses are very diverse. So it shouldn't be just looking at the base pay rate, it should look at what is the overall package being offered. Because women have a diversity of needs, and that can often be discussed with a small business about how it fits within the value, the culture and the requirements of the small business.
One way forward is to make sure the owners and operators of small and medium businesses are aware of the business case for gender equity, how to identify and address any pay gap, and the resources available to assist them.
I think pay equity is really important, but I think the one thing that's really challenging for smaller businesses is just being aware of it. I think we fall into employing people and don't think necessarily about their pay grades. We don't think about whether they're male or female. And I think it's really important that we actually are aware of it. So an education campaign where we're made aware of pay equity makes a huge difference to how we interact with people who are our potential employees.
We do know that small to medium businesses want to harness the full potential of the workforce, but without additional red tape. We also know that the assistance required by a business employing 5 people will be different to that for a business with 50 staff. It may also differ according to the industry or location.
The sector that I'm really connected with is the micro to small business sector. So that's really people who are employing less than 5 people in their business. Really home-based business, families, single operators, those sort of people, independent contractors. So equal pay is more about the individual getting good value for their services, the value of their time. And women in particular, we find, undervalue their time, and they're prepared to underprice when they give a quotation or submit a contract. Our business enterprise centres are continually consulting and working with people to develop a financial understanding that if they don't price properly, they won't make a profit and then they won't be in business. So it's not about getting the first job, it's about getting ongoing sustainable work and contracts so that they can continue to be in business for the longer term.
Our task is to put this issue on the public agenda by raising awareness about the issue of equal pay and making wages a more acceptable subject of discussion.
The reason the gender pay gap still exists in Australia and in fact across the world is because despite all of the material that's produced on it, we are not getting our message to the right audience. It's essential that we have forums, that we have organisations like Economic Security for Women, like BPW International, like the Equal Pay Alliance that brings unions, government, not-for-profit, small business together to see if we can start to make a dent in this stubborn barrier.
Pay equity makes sense for small and large businesses and every size between.